the only begotten daughter could not be found at the time of Jesus. The foundation to give birth to the only begotten daughter had to be restored by heaven. And that is why God could no longer work through the Jewish people, through the people of Israel. And looked for a different people. And around that time, in Asia, there were people of righteousness in the East. God selects a people. He looked for the most righteous people, even among fallen human beings. And at that time, there was a kingdom of Han in the East. About between 400 and 800 AD, this righteous people prospered in current China. And this people, they revered heaven, they worshipped heaven, and they developed extraordinarily advanced astronomy. And that's why they were not a nomadic people. They developed agriculture. They were an agricultural people. They were the chosen people. And through them, the people of Han, of this Han kingdom, they loved white clothes. Every time they would pray and offer devotion, they would always dress in white, bow to heaven, and revere, worship heaven. That kingdom of Han, those people existed. And at that time, in China, there were many other kingdoms. Eventually, since the kingdom of Han did not like fighting, they always tried to avoid fighting, they would flee from one place to another until they reached the Korean peninsula. And they were the people who are today's Korea. Korea, when you look at the history of Korea, people say it has a 5,000-year history. And if you look at the history of Korea, you can see that there was a kingdom called Goguryeo, which vanquished many Chinese kingdoms. And that kingdom of Goguryeo endured for a millennia, about 1,000 years. However, after the downfall of the Goguryeo kingdom, the next kingdom to arise was Goryeo. They used the Go character from Goguryeo and named themselves Goryeo. This Goryeo kingdom after the downfall of the Goryeo kingdom, King Yi raised a new kingdom, and the King Yi chose the name of Joseon for the new kingdom. In the past, in Korea, and among one of the earliest kingdoms in Korea, we had Go Joseon, and using the name Go Joseon, so the King Yi took Joseon from Go Joseon to name his new kingdom. And this kingdom of Joseon unfortunately was the kingdom that was in Korea during the Japanese occupation for 40 years. And at that time, in 1945, Korea was liberated. I was born in 1943. And it was only a few centuries since Christian culture had come to Korea. However, among the Christian believers, there were many who did not believe that the Messiah would come on the clouds. Many believed that the Messiah would be born through a woman, would be born in the flesh. There were many spiritual groups that believe that the Messiah would be born on earth. And among these spiritual groups, you had formation level groups, growth level spiritual groups, and completion level spiritual groups. And one of the leaders of these spiritual groups testified to me. He revealed who I was. When I was born, Satan knew who I was and tried to kill me. Why? Because of my birth, Satan's dominion over the world would be completely ended, and that's why Satan resolved to kill me. From heaven's point of view, this was unacceptable. And I fought with Satan and was victorious. That is why today I stand before you. Now, following the downfall of the kingdom of Joseon, Korea was liberated. But why is Korea called 대한민국, which means the great kingdom of Han? The family name is Han. And it is the same Han when you say 대한민국, which is the Korean name for Korea. That Han is the same with my family name Han. Isn't this interesting? The Great Republic of Han. Because of the protection of God, people say the Great Republic of Korea, 만세. Now, with the liberation of Korea, Korea became divided into communist North and democratic South. Communism and democracy have been in conflict ever since. And communism, which developed in the Christian sphere, communism claims that God is dead. And I was born in North Korea, way above the 38th parallel. At that time, I lived in North Korea. However, from God's point of view, if I stay in North Korea, it would be dangerous. My life would be at risk. I could even die. And if that were to happen, God's providence, which has been waiting for the only begotten daughter for 6,000 years, if the only begotten daughter is dead, even if the returning Messiah comes, they cannot form a true parents. That is why God worked to help me escape. My maternal uncle studied pharmacology at Waseda University. And after he finished his studies, he should have returned to his hometown. But he chose to go to the south and join the South Korean military. So when my family received this news, in our family, we believed, people believed that Pyongyang would become. And at that time, there was a lot of Holy Spirit phenomena happening in Pyongyang. Nobody wanted to flee or leave Pyongyang because it would become the Palace of Eden. But because my maternal uncle joined the military in South Korea, only 3 ladies, my grandmother, my mother, and I, the 3 of us, only the 3 of us, we left North Korea and went to South Korea. It means God worked to help us leave North Korea and come to South Korea. And 2 years after we left North Korea, the Korean War erupted. So, listening to the story of my life
이런 배경으로
and looking
태어난
at
사람은
this background,
나밖에 없어.
I'm the only person born with this background.
알겠나?
Do you understand?
그런데
Now,
이 독생녀의 가치가 얼마나
how
귀하고
great
중요한가
and
하는
important
것을
is the value of the only begotten daughter.
축복 가정에
There are
있는
still blessed families who do not understand the value of the only begotten daughter. This is regrettable.